Loops in Kotlin are control structures that repeatedly execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is true or for a defined number of iterations. There are three types of loops in Kotlin: while loop, do-while loop, and for loop. While loop executes a block of code as long as a condition is true. Let's say we have to print numbers from 1 to 10. What will we do? We will write print line 10 times, but it is not an efficient way. Let's now we want to print 1 to 100. Now the task becomes tedious if we print 100 times by writing print line 100 times. So we have a solution for this. The loops. Let's print 1 to 10 using while loop. First, the while loop checks the condition. Is the n less than or equal to 10? As the n is 1, the condition is true. So it enters the loop body and prints the value of the n, and then we are incrementing the value of n by 1 using the increment operator. After this, the n becomes 2 and again the while loop checks the condition. This time also n is less than 10, so again it enters inside the loop block and executes the statements. Again the n gets increment by 1 and becomes 3. And then again while loop checks the condition, and so on till the condition is satisfying. When n becomes 11, the condition returns false and the control comes out of the loop. Do-while loop executes a block of code at least once even if the condition is not satisfying, and then continues to execute it as long as the specified condition is true. The do-while loop is used less frequently in Kotlin because in many cases, the while loop or for loop can accomplish the same tasks more clearly and with better readability. In this example, the loop prints the value of count and increments it. The condition count 0 will never be met, but the loop body executes at least once. After the initial execution, it checks the condition, which is false, so the loop stops. In Kotlin, the for loop is used to iterate over a range or an array or a collection, or any object that provides an iterator. Element represents each item in the range or in the array. The loop iterates through each element of the specified range or array. For each iteration, the code inside the loop is executed with the current element. We'll see about arrays in Kotlin later in another video. For now, just know that an array is a collection of elements. Before we move ahead with the for loop, let's first see what is a range. Because range is used with for loop many times. A range in Kotlin represents a sequence of values between a start and an end. It's defined using the ... operator and can be inclusive or exclusive. Inclusive range includes both the start and end values. Exclusive range includes values from start to 1 less than the end. Let's say we have to print numbers from 1 to 5. Here I is the loop variable which holds the values of the range 1 to 5. This loop iterates 5 times as the range is 1 to 5. The variable I stores the value 1 at the first iteration, then 2 at the second iteration, and so on till 5. Every time the i's current value is getting printed. Let's see one more example. In this, we will iterate on an array using for loop. As I told you earlier, an array is a collection of elements. It is declared as shown. Here the fruits is an array which contains the elements mango, banana, and apple. The fruit is the loop variable, or we can call it the iterator here because we are iterating through an array here. The fruit variable stores an element of the array fruits every time it is iterating. First it stores mango, then at second iteration it stores banana, and so on till the last element. Every time we are printing the value of the fruit. The break keyword can be used inside a loop. It immediately terminates the loop's execution and jumps to the next statement after the loop. When continue encountered inside a loop, it skips the rest of the code inside the loop for the current iteration and moves to the next iteration.